Brady Cook, who would you like the Jazz to go after in free agency? They need a point guard. The problem is, that you're not going after a Kyrie Irving or a Fred VanVleet or, like a D'Angelo. Like, I love Gabe Vincent, but is Gabe Vincent a number one?
Yeah, well, Gabe Vincent's available, though, because the Heat are shortchanging him.
And is he good? But a contender is going to pay him.
Yeah.
Right? And if you start looking at two guards, like, I'm not paying Karis LeVert $12 million. Right? Austin Reeves, not available. Bruce Brown I think he's going to get overpaid. I would love Bruce Brown. Dante DiVincenzo is a guy you would love, but he's going to be a Knick.
Yep.
Almost has said so. And so you start looking at guys like Seth Curry. What are you going to do with Seth Curry? You're wrong place, wrong time there.
Yeah.
So you start looking at some of the options, and you start thinking to yourself, okay, well, Trey Jones is probably the best available.
Right.
That kind of fits where you are. He's 23. He can be a starting point guard for you. He's probably going to cost you $15 million. Okay, I love Ayo Dosunmu. He's restricted. The Bulls are never going to let him go.
Yeah, and I think if I'm the Jazz, like I'm not at this list yet. Like, I'm aware of the list. I know who's on the list. Okay, great. But my first priority is not that list if I'm the Jazz. My first priority is getting involved in bigger trades that can land, ideally, perfect world, a franchise-level scorer on the wing. But if not, a player that can come in and fit into Will Hardy's system and can give you points. Because, again, I look at what they did in the draft, and I'm telling you guys, their goal, in my opinion, is to put together an offense that has no trouble scoring and no trouble working in the paint, which is why they went big up front. And then I think they just need to find a guy who can play on the wing effectively. So, again, I'm not saying it's going to be Bradley Beal level scorer, but I do think that you need to find someone who you can give the ball to with 8 seconds left on the shot clock who can go and get you one.
I agree with that. But Mapes, this is a really good point. I'm getting fearful the Jazz will have Colin Sexton as their starting point guard.
Yeah, that's last resort, I think. I don't think that they're that married to him.
I don't know. I think it is. I don't know where they go at point guard because I think you're fine. Power forward is no longer your biggest need.
Yeah.
No longer, no longer your biggest need, in my opinion. I think that you're in a position here where you just have to figure out, how you're going to and who you want to build your team around.
Yeah. And
I think with John Collins and Taylor Hendricks in the draft, which I still think is a massive win for them, your 3-4-5 is set. Walker Kessler, Lauri Markkanen, John Collins, Taylor Hendricks. Like, you've got to go get guards and wings now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to go and supplement the Ochai Agbaji type player. Because THT's not that guy. Can he fill minutes? Sure, but he's going to go a month without playing significant minutes.
Yeah.
Right? He's just going to be forever. He's not a guy that's going to be a starter. Like, you bring back Jordan Clarkson. Do you really think Jordan Clarkson should be your starting point guard?
No.
Your starting two guard. Are you at all happy with Colin Sexton and Jordan Clarkson as your starting guard combo? You can't possibly be. There's just no way that happens. I just don't see that that's even a possibility.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
And the other issue is, like, where are you in your timeline? So if you're a playoff team this year, and I think they are a 6, 7, 8 team, if you're a bottom 3 playoff team, okay, a year from now, you should probably be where Oklahoma City is right now. Mid top 5 playoff team. So you're probably 3 full seasons from contending for a Western Conference championship. And if you're really aggressive, that could be a year from now. You're making moves to get to that spot. But right now, today, I would still prioritize flexibility and just being a playoff team.
Yeah. Mark Stein is reporting, apparently, 10 minutes ago, that the Jazz and Clarkson are working on a 3-year extension, apparently.
Well, let's see what happens. That would be a remarkable change of trajectory.
That's a mistake, in my opinion.
That would be a remarkable change of trajectory for the Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
If that is true, something has changed.
Yeah.
Something significantly changed with Jordan Clarkson and the Jazz. And the other issue is, if you're getting Jordan Clarkson for 3 years, how much are you going to pay him? How much are you going to pay him?
Well, clearly market rate. I mean, unless, and again, as I've said the last several shows, I will be happy to say I was wrong if he signs a deal that's worth $40 million over 3 years. I will be happy to say that I was wrong, but I just can't believe that Jordan Clarkson takes some kind of huge discount.
That would be a shocking development. Something had to have changed.
I mean, are you telling me that Jordan Clarkson saw the John Collins trade and now wants to be here? Is that what's happened here?
I mean, that I would be stunned if that actually happened. I mean, I something had to have changed dramatically. Like I can't even fathom that we've gone from, hey, I'm pissed off you didn't trade me at the deadline, which pretty much everybody has acknowledged.
Yeah, that wasn't just us saying that, by the way.
Hey, I want to go to a contender. I want to win a championship. Hey. Now you're going to sign a 3-year deal with a team that in 3 years might be competing for a championship. What changed? And is it a fact of, okay, we're going to overpay you to keep you here? I don't know. That would be shocking. That'd be shocking to me. Joe Parker, what's the Jazz biggest need on the roster? Oh, point guard by far right now. I think you need guards and wings. I think you need 1, 2, 3s on this roster right now. You need to be able to build positional flexibility. That would be shocking. Lopes fan Gabe, why do people feel compelled to publicly announce I'm leaving forever? We aren't shedding tears over here. Be gone, Felicia. Well, I just think that a guy like Salty Drunk has always been salty. All he wants to talk about is OKC, Joe Ingles, and NBA way down the list.
And that's fine.
I totally get it.
We're not doing that.
I totally get it. Connor Tulin, maybe whatever he thought was out there in the market changed. That could be.
Yeah, maybe.
That could be.
And look, I don't think the guy is, again, like, I don't mind Jordan Clarkson. I just think Jordan Clarkson is a paid assassin. He does one thing really good. He scores, but there are nights where he does, like, he takes that same amount of shot.
Does he really fit into this roster?
That's my question. So are you telling me, because this is the thing. So obviously there's 3 things here. One, does he start or does he come off the bench as a 6-man? Well, here I would guess he'd be starting. That just a guess.
First mistake.
That's the first mistake. Second mistake, obviously, is financial. I don't understand why you're going to pay this guy. And I swear to God, if it is $85 million over 3 years, I'll be pissed, dude. I will not have nice things to say about that.
Cannot do that. Like,
and maybe we're the outliers. Hey, maybe we don't get it with Jordan Clarkson, right? Maybe, we know, and again, we're not the only ones who have reported. Ryan Smith has, as
personal affinities.
Yeah, certain affinities, personal affinities with Jordan Clarkson. So, okay, cool. Keep Jordan Clarkson. But I swear to God, if that hinders Keontae George's development, that's not what you should be doing right now. That's a mistake.
He should be a $12 million guy. He should be a 3-year, $36 million extension. That's what it should be. It should not be anywhere near $50, $60 million. It just cannot. It cannot be. It cannot. I am stunned that we're sitting here talking about the Jazz are supposedly, according to Mark Stein, negotiating a 3-year extension with Jordan Clarkson. Like, how is that even possible? I would love to understand that.
Yeah.
That is earth-shattering to me. That is earth-shattering to me. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Listen, I hope he gets paid every dollar he can get his hands on.
I agree with that. This is not a I don't like JC. I mean,
no.
JC is one of the most entertaining basketball players you will find. Absolutely. But I don't feel like JC in his game and where he's at in his career fits into the timeline in Utah. But clearly, that's not what Ryan Smith believes.
If this is anything more, what would be the maximum? If this is anything more than $15 million a year, I will fucking torch them.
Yeah.
You cannot extend him. Dude, he's 31 years old. He's 31 years old. Every day that passes, his trade value shrinks, and you had better.
You know what this is?
Dude, if you're paying him $15 million and he's your starting two, you're screwed.
You know what this is?
You will not win.
This is Mike Conley 2.0. That's what this is. If they re-sign him again, that's what this is. You're signing a guy that you should have traded, Mike Conley, right? You're re-signing a guy that has value. We know, right? Hey, everybody and their mom, including, I think even Woj last summer retweeted this or tweeted or whatever, that, hey, the Jazz, Jordan Clarkson has first-round pick value, right? Hey, you can trade him. You can get a first-round pick and maybe even a player in the right situation or environment. Yet here we are re-signing a guy. And admittedly, it's not hundreds of millions of dollars like it was with Rudy, right? So we're not going to be in that type of situation. But you've done everything right up into this point. You nailed the draft. You nailed the Laurie trade. Like, everything's been good. And now we're getting, we really like Jordan. We're going to need to keep him. I just disagree with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I truly don't know how you do that. I truly don't understand it. And listen, I'm a talk show host. I am not an NBA general manager, and this is why. Because I absolutely would not be signing Jordan Clarkson. And I would have traded him at the deadline when I could have had a first-round pick for him.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I would have done. Brandon Butler, depends on the contract. They can front-load contracts. No, I think there's a contract structure. Then have it descend into more reasonable rates. This year's cap space pays him 30, then 15 and 15. But what that makes him, sure. I don't know, man. Why are you re-signing Jordan Clarkson?
Why are we justifying? Like, I don't even disagree with you, Brandon, right? Like, they could do that. That's true. But we're not talking about LeBron. We're not talking about like Fred VanVleet. We're not talking about like, hey, this guy is the absolute best at what he does at this point in his career. We're not talking about that. And so I feel like what's happened is this guy went from, as you said, being pissed off you didn't trade him to a title contender to somehow, some way now wanting to be in the organization apparently, and everything's kosher somehow. So I don't know. I would, again, and I'm going to keep saying it, we've asked Ryan Smith to come on the show 50 times, 100 times, whatever it is now, never get a response back.
Just ask yourself, what was Jordan Clarkson in the height of Rudy and Don? He was a guy you couldn't trust in the biggest moments. And a lot of times Quinn didn't put him on the floor. Was he a better player last year than he was at the height of Rudy and Don? No, he was not. So then why are you paying him? And why are you starting him? Because if you re-sign him, he's a starter. He was a starter last year. Are you going to re-sign a guy on 3 years and put him on the bench? That doesn't seem likely. And I agree with Jet. I hope they don't overpay him. I trust Danny and hope Ryan Smith isn't getting in the way. I trust Danny Ainge implicitly. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. J.K. Marshall says, have a great weekend, everyone. Indeed. See you on Wednesday. Brad Turner, I am still scared about Sexton's health.
You should be.
I mean, he's a better player than we saw at any point last year. He's coming off of a major knee injury. You would expect better things from him this year. It's all about how the contract is structured. I disagree. I think paying Jordan Clarkson a penny is a mistake. It's a mistake. It just, even the veteran minimum, what does he bring to your team? What does Jordan Clarkson do for you that you can't go and get in a younger developmental player? Even paying him a penny is a mistake. He is a volume shooter who is not efficient. He's a guy that is a starter. I want nothing to do with him as a starter. Jordan Clarkson is a sixth man on a championship contending team, period.
Yeah.
That's it. He's a sixth man on a championship contending team. To them, he's worth $15 million a year. To the Jazz, they should not pay him. They should trade him. They should not pay him.